Hey y'all, we are Sage and Rice, and we are back with another video. We're in the kitchen, so we're gonna be cooking today.
That's right.
And today's recipe is gonna be my famous fried chicken. Now I get asked everywhere I go, including my family. Ryan loves this fried chicken, and anybody that we tell about it always want to know the recipe. I thought, and I said, well, should I reveal the recipe? And I decided, okay, the time is now. So I'm gonna be showing you from the very beginning, including the seasoning, how I mix up the flour, all the way until the end, how I make my famous fried chicken. And then I'm gonna pair it today with some biscuits and then honey butter on the biscuits and honey butter on the chicken. So,
and you know that we love us some Jollibee and Popeyes and KFC chicken, but his chicken, it is really, really good. And eventually, I'm putting it out in the world when we package up his sage and rice seasoning. Make sure you support, because I think it's gonna be for people like me who can't cook, and just want everything like already done. I think it's gonna be awesome.
All right. So let's just jump right in.
Let's go.
So I'm gonna let you know what you need. So of course you're gonna need chicken because this is a fried chicken recipe. You're gonna need butter. We use Smart Balance just because we're watching our cholesterol. Any type of honey that you have, that's gonna be for the honey butter. You're gonna need all of these different seasonings here. So paprika, parsley, onion powder, cayenne powder, black pepper, garlic pepper, natural sea salt. This is going to be a key ingredient here. Nor chicken flavor bouillon. I think I said that wrong. Bouillon, or however you say it, you know, whatever. So you're going to definitely need cornstarch. You're going to need flour. And then this one is optional here, but I always use some masa instant, like corn masa flour as well, just to give it a different flavor, okay? So this is all the ingredients you're going to need. And then what we're going to show you first is how to make the seasoning. You're going to need a cup of this chicken flavor here. And this is really going to be the base of the seasoning. So you definitely don't want to go without this. So I use just about a cup. We're going to do the best we can when it comes to measurements here. That's about a cup. We're going to put that in there. So this is 1/4 of a cup here. So you're going to need 1/8 sea salt. So I'm going to actually mix my sea salt and black pepper here. So you need about 1/4 of each of those ingredients for this recipe, all right? So I have about 1/4 of a cup of sea salt in there. And then I'm gonna fill the rest up here with black pepper. All right, see that? And so now I have about 1/8 sea salt, 1/8 black pepper. We're gonna put that in there. You're gonna use 1/4 cup of garlic powder. I love garlic powder. All right. Now, the remaining seasonings here, which is the paprika, parsley, onion powder, and cayenne pepper here, you're just gonna put in a tablespoon of each, all right? So a tablespoon of paprika, it's really gonna give it that beautiful color, all right? A tablespoon of parsley flakes. I just love that green in there. So that's just gonna make it beautiful. Then you're gonna use your onion powder. So about a tablespoon of that. And then last but not least, you're gonna do a tablespoon of cayenne pepper. Now, if you don't like heat, this isn't gonna make it very hot at all. But if you're just afraid that it may be too spicy for you, then you can take this out. But for the most part, I don't think it's gonna be too spicy. Now you have the basis of your chicken seasoning, and you're just gonna mix all of these ingredients up together. So if you have some chunks in there, you want to just make sure you break those apart there. Sometimes the seasoning do that. You see that? This is your chicken seasoning. So remember, this fried chicken seasoning is gonna work for anything that's chicken related. Whether you have chicken breast, chicken legs, chicken thighs, chicken wings, this seasoning is gonna work for it, all right? And so what I'm gonna do is, I have a used container that was, that had maybe garlic powder or some other seasoning in it, and I'm just gonna refill that with the chicken seasoning. It should fill up at least 2 6 to 7 ounce containers completely. And then this should last you, just depending on how much chicken you cook, anywhere from 4 to 6 months. It would definitely last that entire time. So I'm gonna bottle it up, and then I'm gonna show you how to get everything else started, all right? I have 1 cup of flour here, and then I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And then I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of corn flour here. All right. And then you're gonna mix that all up together until it all blends in. And remember, the cornstarch is gonna really make your chicken crunchy. And then I always add the corn flour, just personally, because I think it gives the chicken just a different flavor. I don't know, I just like that flavor, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I mean, if you don't like the the corn flour, you don't have to have the corn flour. But I definitely recommend having the flour and the cornstarch. You don't want to go without those two. But just personally, I like the corn flour because I like the taste that it gives the chicken. So the next step is seasoning our chicken. Now, I've already rinsed off the chicken with lemon, vinegar. I still believe in rinsing off your chicken. It's a lot of grit and grime, and I just don't like that on my chicken. So I've already done that step. I always try to dry the chicken. Now I do like for it to have just a little bit of moisture on it, but you don't want it really wet. You want to try to dampen it with, you know, if you have like a paper towel or a cloth, just to get some of the excess water, and then just a little bit of water here. So I have my chicken wings here, and you can see my famous fried chicken seasoning. I put it in this bottle right here. All right, and you can use this whenever you want to make fried chicken. So, on to the seasoning here. So, remember, you're going to want to season this generously. Trust me, you do not want your chicken to lack seasoning. I mean, that ain't hot, that ain't hot. You just want your chicken to have as much seasoning as possible on it. And remember, this is a mixture of seasoning. This is a mixture. So you're probably thinking, oh, you're putting too much seasoning. No, remember that this is everything in there. Everything in the seasoning, not just salt, for example. If it was just salt, then that would be too much.
Don't be afraid to put it on there.
That's why people love my chicken, okay? So you want to make sure you flip it over. You see we got one side there. Let's just flip it over, y'all. Okay. Flip your chicken over. See that? Okay. And then you want to season that side just the same. Okay. Make sure you season that chicken. Trust me, y'all, this is going to be good. And it's not going to have too much seasoning on it. It's going to be just right. That's why I use this pizza pan right here. And plus, I know everybody got a pizza pan. Okay. So, you're probably thinking the sides there, I always just put that with the extra chicken. You see that there? That's why I like a little bit of moisture. You see how all of that kind of just look beautiful like that? And then you see how that part don't have any flavor? I just season it up like that. Now that the chicken is all seasoned, we're gonna dip it into that flour mixture and put it right inside of the grease, all right? So I'm just gonna do it with my hands here, y'all. That's the only way I know how to do it. Now, some people do put their fried chicken in a bag, and I've done that before too, but you can do it this way as well. Just because I don't have that many pieces, if you have a ton of chicken, then that makes sense. But if you just have a few pieces, then that makes sense. You see how that's fully coated? You wanna make sure that your chicken is fully coated. You see that? And make sure your grease is at 350 degrees. That's where you want your grease to be at. So it could be vegetable oil or canola oil. I even know some people use peanut oil, but those are the ones that I would recommend. All right, we're gonna put that in there, and remember, you wanna shake off all that excess flour, because that's gonna just create a ton of pieces, a ton of like flour pieces at the bottom of your oil. I use oil and grease interchangeably, so, but that's gonna just leave a lot of pieces at the bottom of your oil, and I don't like for those pieces to be in my oil. So I personally just like to shake it off. All right, so we have all of our chicken seasoned, we have it floured, and it's just sitting here in this grease cooking. I have my grease or oil on medium high, so about 7.5 out of 9 here. And so you don't want to touch it, because if you touch it, then you're gonna, the crust is gonna come off, and you don't want the crust to come off. That's the best part of the chicken, to me anyway. So you want to leave it in place for about, I would say 7 or 8 minutes, or until you see a beautiful golden crust on one side before you flip it. And that golden crust is going to let you know that it's beautiful, golden, it's in place, it's not going to come off when you flip it. And then you're going to cook it anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes total, just depending on the size of your chicken pieces, all right? So we're gonna then transition to our biscuits. So you can make homemade biscuits, and I'll do another recipe with that. But this time I'm just gonna be using the Pillsbury Grand Southern Style biscuits. And what I love about these biscuits is that it's a ton of biscuits inside. I think it's 20 in a pack. And you can also freeze them, so they never really go bad like the canned biscuits. And so they're just awesome to use at any time. So, I'm just going to put these biscuits here on a tray. Alright. So they just stick together a little bit. Mine's been unthawing for a little while. So I'm just going to shape them here. And you just want to give them a little bit of time, a little bit of space apart, a little bit of space apart. You see that there? And so my oven cooks a little bit quicker. And so I believe you should put it on 375 per the directions. But I'm only going to put it on 325. And I believe it should be like 20 to 22 minutes. I'm going to start off with about 15 minutes first and then check it. Just because my biscuits, they're no longer frozen per the directions, all right? So I'm going to put these in my oven here. We have our chicken frying, we have our biscuits inside of the oven, and the last thing that we have to do is make our honey butter. Very easy, very simple, 2 ingredients, honey and butter. All right, so you're gonna wanna use about 1/4 cup of butter. And so I have my measuring cup here, and I'm just gonna put it right there. And you wanna press it down. That's about 1/4 cup there. I'm just gonna put it right there in my little container. And I'm gonna do 2 of these because I'm gonna pour one over the chicken and one over the chicken and biscuits, and then I'm gonna have another one for kind of like a dipping sauce. All right. So 1/4 cup of butter there. Pretty easy, pretty simple, right? All right. And then you're gonna do a tablespoon of honey per container. Ooh, it's kind of hard to squeeze. You see that there? Ooh, I even got some honey coming from the container. Ooh, it's dripping all over the place, y'all. All right. So you're gonna do that for both containers. And then we're all done there. Alright. So from here, it's pretty easy, pretty simple. I'm going to put it inside of the microwave for about 30 seconds to a minute, just depending on your microwave. And I'm going to show you how it should look when you're finished, alright? It is all done here. So I'm just going to mix it up because what tends to happen is that the honey tends to settle at the bottom. So you want to make sure you mix it up when it comes out. And then you want to also make sure you mix it up again before you put it on top of the chicken and on top of your biscuit. Alright, so that's all done and ready to go. Alright, so our fried chicken here, you remember I was telling you that the fried chicken should be a beautiful golden brown on one side? Well, I think our chicken is just about there, so it's time to flip it over. And look at that beautiful golden brown color. That's the color you're looking for before you flip your chicken. You see that? You see that? We're going to let it cook for about another 7 minutes or so. And then our chicken will be ready to go. Alright, so our chicken is finished here. You see I have my pan with my stringer. I forget what they call this piece right here, but my chicken is ready. All finished, crispy, beautiful, golden brown. And so I'm just going to take each of these pieces. I'm going to let them drain a little bit until I see it drip, just so I can get most of that oil off. And then I'm just going to let it sit for a little bit, just so it can rest for a few minutes, just so we can get all of the oil out of it. We have finished our biscuits. We've finished our fried chicken. We have it here on a plate. So you can see how beautiful it looks here. Our biscuits and chicken. And then I've put some honey butter here. And I'm just gonna drizzle that honey butter all over the chicken. There you are. All over the chicken, all over the biscuits. And that's just what you wanna do. And that's our honey butter fried chicken with honey butter biscuits. We are about to try the honey butter chicken and honey butter biscuits. All right?
So excited.
So, let me let you try a lick. Then you go down. And I'm gonna try a lick.
I don't know why people do this. I think it's for the focus.
Yeah, but sometimes it don't focus right. So we're gonna give it a shot. And babe, I just want a little bit more honey butter in mine. Alright, on my chicken. Do you want some honey butter on the chicken too?
Thanks.
Alright, so I'm
so
gonna
good. It looks so good.
do the first test.
Mm. 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 Crispy.
Yeah, that's it.
Good job.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
That batter
Yeah.
is so good.
That's, y'all want to use this recipe, really, y'all do. I'm telling you, this is wow.
And I think even without the honey butter,
It would be good. So,
but it gives it a little bit extra sweetness.
wow. Yeah, so if you just want to make the fried chicken without the honey butter, you're going to use the exact same recipe, the same exact seasoning, the same exact flour mixture. I just decided to take it over the edge a little bit this time with the honey butter. But you don't have to put the honey butter on there. Just the chicken by itself is delicious. If you want to do chicken and biscuits and you don't want to do honey butter on it, or you only want to do honey butter on the side, you can do it either way. We just decided to do honey butter because it just took it over the edge for us. So definitely try this recipe. We're going to finish eating up here. And definitely tune in for another video on Sage and Rice. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe below. And follow us on Instagram at Sage and Rice, all right?
Stay blessed and highly flavored.
Yes, yes.
Bye. It's really good on the biscuit too. Good job.